Once again, good afternoon everyone, and I am Generose de la Serna, a second-year student, taking up Bachelor of Secondary Education major in English. And welcome to my second round reporting. And this afternoon, I am going to discuss about the continuation of Article 3, the examination and registration. And this is under the Republic Act of 7836, which is the Philippine Teachers Professionalization Act of 1994. And the scope of my topic is from Section 18 up to Section 22 of Article 3. So if you have reference book, you can open it from 176 to 178 so that you can follow. But before anything else, I would like to take this opportunity to thank our professor, Doc Fidelina Eliuran, to gave us this opportunity to thank or to discuss this very informative topic. So why I found it informative? Well, it is because it is very essential to know not only the rules and regulations as a teacher, but also we as future educators, we need to know what are the possible consequences if we committed inaccurate act, and also what are the wasted rewards if we running well according to the rules of a teacher. So are you ready? We will start. I will start in section 18 of Article 3, which is the oath before practice. So every registrant shall be required to take his professional oath before practicing as a professional teacher. So when we talk about oath, it is a promise or it is a sacred ceremony, and it is very important by calling God to see and remember the promise, and also to show that the promise is true and cannot be taken back later, and also to fulfill the following duties to our society, and most especially we swear that the words we speak are true with sincerity before the actual practice. So in other words, as a teacher, you will not able to teach without taking an oath. So why is it important to take the oath before practice? Well, simply because we as future educators, it is very inexorable not only to know the rules and regulation of your profession, but also it could enhance our public confidence, of course, and it could also serve as a reminder to us about the significant responsibilities vested to us in our profession. And also, by that time, we are also a public figure and trusted enormously by most parents and society to do the right thing to the student, as well as to impart limitless knowledge and enhance the student's skills as well. So we are now in section 19, the periodic merit examination for teachers. So what is this periodic merit examination for? Well, it is to encourage continuing professional growth and development, and to provide additional basis for merit promotion. So in addition to their performance rating, teachers may take an oral and written examination in at least once in 5 years for merit promotion. So which means that this merit system is for what? Promotion, of course, and it encourages teachers to become more responsive with their duties. So traditionally, teachers' evaluation relied heavily on the classroom observations, and that was conducted by principals and any other school administrators. So this kind of evaluation has two bases. So the first one is the teacher's performance. So the second one is the oral and written examination in at least once in 5 years. So I will discuss first the teacher's performance. So what are those performances? So here is some examples. So the first one is this merit system encourages teachers to become more innovative. So when we say innovative, what comes first into your mind? Well, it is the ability to create something different that can be more beneficial to all students. So like some educational tools that enable children to learn and allow teachers to assess them. So the second one is the effectiveness inside the classroom. So which means that it includes the methods of teaching that the teachers used, along with some educational tools that can be more effective so that the student can absorb the information easily. So the third one is, as a teacher, you need to master your subject matter before bringing it to the classroom for better performance. So the last one is, as a teacher, you need to be a good facilitator. So facilitator comes from the French word facile, which means easy. And you need to have an advanced preparation inside the classroom and make things safe and easier for everyone. And also, a good facilitator always promotes open communication with the students. So I will discuss the oral and written examination. So when we say oral, it is our communication skills, and this was designed to promote interactive learning. This can help also to improve our verbal skills and also on how we articulate fast or good reasoning skills in a various situation without having difficulties in speaking. So next we have the written exam. So this merit system determines the fitness of the candidate by the ability to pass a written competitive examination, and that was given by a commission of examiners. So it is also a technique to assess teachers' knowledge, skills, and abilities. So strengths and weaknesses can also be assessed through this kind of assessment. So it can also improve our comprehension and critical thinking skills and builds vocabulary and refines our communication skills as well as our outstanding academic performance. We are now in section 20, the failure to pass merit examination. So, if a teacher fails to pass the merit examination, he or she shall be allowed to take the examination for the second time. So, should he or she failure to pass the merit examination for the second time, then he or she shall be required to take a DEX accredited refresher course or program before being allowed to retake the examination. So, failure of any permanent teacher to pass the merit examination shall not, however, be used as a ground for his or her dismissal or demotion. So, which means that regardless if you failed many times in this merit examination, it will not used for demotion or dismissal against you. So what is DEX? So DEX stands for Department of Education, Culture, and Sports. So a quick background, by the power of Republic Act number 9155 that was held on August 11, 2011, otherwise known as the Governance of Basic Education Act of 2001, renamed the DEX to the Department of Education, which is the DepEd. 2. Redefining the rule of field offices, regional offices, division, district, and schools. And also, 2. Reiterated or to do over the goal of basic education. So, what is DEX accredited refresher course program offered? So, teachers who failed to pass the merit shall be required to attain training in order to improve service delivery in terms of self-expression. So, the refresher course also provides opportunities for serving teachers to exchange experiences with their peers and mutually learns from each other. So, it will be a forum to abreast of the latest advances in the subjects technological spin-offs, and etc. So the refresher course also can be a wake-up call to remind teachers of their rules and enhances their professional ethics, which in the end will improve their performances and those quality of education. So at the end of the course, teachers will be required to appear in a test to assess how much they have learned through the course. So based on their score, the teachers will be graded from A to F, where A will be given to teachers scoring over 85% and F to those scoring less than 50%. So to those who are graded F will be considered as having failed the test and will be made to repeat the refresher course again. And the teachers who pass the test will be able to take the merit examination for the third time. So one of the importance of these courses, it increases the self-confidence and morale of the teachers, and also keeping the teachers updated with the latest trends and bridging the gap between the old and new skills, and also increasing the pool of talent for an organization. So moving forward to section 21, which is the most awaited part, the incentives. So teachers who pass the merit examination shall first be awarded a diploma of merit given by the board. So the second one is earn merit points for purposes of promotion in salary or to a higher position of grade level. So which means that if you pass the merit examination, then you have a huge opportunity and being prioritized by the board to be promoted to a higher position or getting a high salary. So the third one is be placed in the priority list for government scholarship. So which means that you will be placed in the priority list for government scholarship if you pass the merit examination. So in other words, you will be on the top priority of all the opportunities that the government offered. So the last one is enjoy such other benefits as may be promulgated by the board. So teaching comes with many of the additional benefits if he or she pass the merit examination. So like for example, cash incentives, allowances, and some additional benefits like insurances. So similar incentives also shall be given to the teachers who make inventions, develop new methods of teaching, write a book or books, and create works of artistic merit. So as I've said earlier, as a teacher, you need to be more innovative or to create something different and new that can be beneficial for your learners. So for you to be able to qualify to get an incentives that will be given by the government. We are now in section 22 of Article 3, the integration of the teaching profession. So the teaching profession shall be integrated into one national organization which shall be recognized by the board and the commission as the one and only integrated and accredited association of professional teachers. So upon registration with the board, every professional teacher shall be encouraged to become a member of the integrated national organization. So to those who have been registered with the board but are not members of the said integrated organization shall be allowed to register as members of the said integrated organization within 3 years after the effectivity of this act. So, membership in the integrated organization shall not be a bar to membership in other associations of the teaching profession. So, the professional teachers shall receive the benefits and privileges appertinent to their membership in the said integrated and accredited organization of professional teachers only upon payment of the required membership fees and dues. So, for you as a teacher, for you to be able to enjoy such benefits, so you need to pay such required membership fees and some other requirement that the organization required. Okay, so as a teacher, you need to engage to different kinds of integrated and accredited associations for professional organizations that offers the opportunities for educators to mingle with and learn from other educators in their field or even in more diverse fields, so which will open unknown possible opportunities for collaboration and may lead to new discoveries and help all educators improve by comparing their methods. So, one of the accredited and integrated organization is the PAFTI. So, stands for Philippine Association for Teacher and Educator. So, here are some of the goals of PAFTI. First, to promote and maintain unity, professionalism, and excellence among teachers and educators, and also teacher education institution and professional teachers. So the second one is to raise and maintain standards of teachers' education and enhance the ability of the teaching profession through effective leadership and enlightened fellowship. So the third one is to stimulate, support, and undertake researches, studies, and other scholarly works and innovations that will contribute to the improvement of teachers' education and disseminate new knowledge, information, and materials through publications, seminars, workshops, lectures, conferences, and other forms of continuing professional education and activities. And also, to serve as partner of the Philippine government in promoting national development through pre-service and in-service teacher education. So my report ends up here. So I hope you learned something from my discussion. So for your knowledge about the section 23 to 26, let us hear and give way to the presentation of Miss Dali Dawang. So stay tuned and God bless everyone. Thank you.
Good day everyone, I am Dali Dawang and this is the continuation of our report. I'm going to report the section 23. When we say section 23, it's all about revocation of the certificate of registration, suspension from the practice of the teaching profession, and cancellation of temporary special permit. So in this section, the board shall have the power, after due notice and hearing, to suspend or to revoke the certificate of registration of any registrant, to reprimand or to cancel the temporary special permit of the holder thereof who exempt from registration for any of the following causes. The first one is the conviction for any criminal offense by a court of competent jurisdiction. So when we say conviction, means that you have been guilty of a crime by a court, or that you have agreed to plead guilty to a crime. There are many levels of a crime, including both misdemeanors and felonies. You may have been convicted of a crime even if you did not spend any time in jail. The second one is the immoral, unprofessional, or dishonorable conduct. So when we say immoral, it is referring to conduct, applies to one who acts contrary to order, does not obey or to conform to standard of morality. It may also means licentious and perhaps dissipated. So the next one is an dishonorable conduct. It is also part of immoral. Another term is dishonorable conduct. When we say dishonorable conduct, it is a behavior, practice, or condition that contrary to ethical standard adopted by the board. The next one is the declaration by the court of competent jurisdiction of for being mentally unsound or insane. So when we say declaration, it can help judge make a decision on the motion, or from the word declare, it is an formal announcement. So the next one is the use of perpetration of any fraud or deceit to obtaining a certificate of registration, professional license, or special temporary permit. So the use of perpetration, it means any wrongful act, like for example using other name, not telling the truth, and some other personal intention just to get a license, are strictly prohibited by the law and can cause to confine any person, especially as punishment to a crime that you committed, and also suspension of practice and cancellation of certificate or any form of license. So the next one is the chronic and every or habitual use of drugs. So in this causes, as a teacher, you need to avoid any from an habitual act or bad habits like drugs, alcohol, and so on. That act can lead you to lost your job, like cancellation of license, and some other punishment that may serve by the law that can terminate you and your profession. Most specifically, it can off track lots of opportunity that you can get teacher as a teacher. So the next one is the violation of any provision of this act, the rules and regulation of other policies of the board and commission, and the code ethical and professional standard for professional teacher. So in this causes, violation of law is any act, or less commonly failure to act, that fails to abide by existing law. Violation generally include both crimes and civil wrong. Some acts such as fraud can violate both civil and criminal laws. And the next one is it's also part of the violation, the rules and regulation. So rules and regulation are promulgated to implement the state of policy and objective under the act, who aim to promote and facilitate the transfer, disseminations, and effective use, management, and commercialization and intellectual property, technology, and knowledge resulting from research and development. Also main responsibility to their student and define the rule in student lives. Above all, their teacher must demonstrate integrity, impartiality, and ethical behavior in the classroom, and their conduct parents and co-worker. So the next one is the unjustified or willful failure to attend seminar, workshop, conference, like the continuing education program prescribed by the board and the commission. So in this course, now, for example, the teacher, there are seminar that need to be attend, and then expected to be in forum before you appear. He is no longer allowed. If it is not valid to get reason, you need a valid proof why you did not attend the forum or the meeting or the seminar, because it will not be accepted by the board if there is no proof, any reason, or need a proof to be an honor. So in this section, the decision of the board to revoke or suspend the certificate may be appealed to the regional trial court of the place where the board holds office within 15 days from receipt of the say decision or the denial of motion of reconsideration filed due the time. So the section 23, it's all about the cancellation, the revocation of certificate. It is means permanent removal of a provider current certificate of registration for failure comply with the applicable requirement of the manual of requirements. So the next one is the section number 24, the registration by reciprocity. No teacher of a foreign nationality shall be admitted to the examination or be given a certificate of registration or be entitled to any of the rights and privilege under this act unless the country or state of which he is subject permits Filipino professional teachers to practice within its territorial limits on the same basis as subject or citizen of said country or state, provided that the requirements of certification of teachers with same foreign state or country are substantially the same of those required and contemplated under this act. Provided further that the laws of such state or country grant the same privilege to Filipino professional teachers on the same basis of the subject or citizens of such foreign country or states. So, in this section, the teacher certification reciprocity is somewhat misleading term as it is often interpreted as a meaning that a teaching license issued in one state will be organized by another state unconditionally, while most states provide reciprocity guidelines. Interstate reciprocity is not automatic. Teacher must apply for a new license if they are looking to teach in the states where they are not currently licensed. And the teacher licensing agency for teaching certificate reciprocity on a case by a basis and is an agreement that allows an education who is certified to teach in one state to transfer his or her certification in teach in different state. More than 40 states have some type of reciprocity policy in place. In many cases, the certification transfer is temporary. When a limit time has been reached, a teacher will need to complete additional requirements such as a classroom experience or coursework in order to be officially certified the new state. So the next one is the section number 25, the roster of professional teachers. So when we say roster of professional teachers, containing the names and address of professional teachers, date of registration or issuance of certificate, and other data, which is the opinion of the board, may appear pertinent shall be maintained. Copies of the roster shall be provided by the Commission of the Board, the Department of Education, the Culture and Sports, and the Integrated and Accredited Organization of Professional Teachers. So, in this section, when we say roster, it is a list of a plan showing turn of duty or leave for individual or a group in an organization. In other words, this is the list including the dates and the accurate data of a professional teachers. As a teachers, you need to provide credential, then can be proof of your identity, and it is an inexorable to maintain the given data. Copies of the roster shall be provided by the Commission and presented to the Board as well as the Department of Education and to the Integrated and Accredited Organization of the Professional Teachers.
So let's now proceed to Section 26, the registration and the exemption. So 2 years after the effectivity of this act, no person shall engage in teaching and or act as professional teachers as defined in this act, whether in the preschool, elementary, secondary level, unless he is a duly registered professional teacher and a holder of a valid certificate of registration and a valid professional license, and a holder of a valid special temporary permit. So, which means that as a teacher, you are not allowed to engage in any other teaching activities without having a permit, a special permit rather, or a license, because it is prohibited. And you are able to teach unless you are a holder of the professional license permit and a duly registered professional teacher and a holder of valid certificate of registration and also a valid professional license and a valid special temporary permit. So, upon approval of the application of and payment of the prescribed fees, the certificate of registration and professional license as a professional teacher shall be issued without examination as required in this act to qualified applicant who at the time of the approval of this act is, first, a holder of a certificate of eligibility as a teacher issued by the Civil Service Commission and the Department of Education, Culture, and Sports. So, which means that as a teacher, you need to be a holder of a certificate of eligibility that was issued by and conducted by the Civil Service Commission or CSC. So the Constitutional Commission is the responsible for overseeing the government service. So, as a way also to screen and select prospective civil servants. So, passing the CSA is required for everyone who wants a job in a government. And one of the advantages of this passing this exam is that it will make you more competent and it will increase your value as a teacher. So, the second one is a registered professional teacher with a national board for teachers and under the Department of Education, Culture, and Sports, which is the DEX, pursuant to Presidential Decree number 1006. So, which means that as a teacher, you need to be a holder of a certificate as a board passer. So, considering the importance of eligibility to the teaching profession, so passing the licensure examination for teachers or LET makes the educators professional teachers who are highly qualified. So, and also eligible for employment as teachers both in private and public schools. So, LET also is a test of the overall knowledge and proficiency of prospective teachers to provide a reliable structure with which the practice of prospective teachers can be measured and proven. And also it gives access to continuing growth and development. So, the third one is not qualified under the paragraphs 1 and 2 but with any of the following qualifications. So, the first one is an elementary or secondary teacher for 5 years in a good standing and a holder of a Bachelor of Science and Education or its equivalent. So, which means that if you are an elementary or secondary teacher for 5 years in a good standing, will be then you have a chance to be qualified. So, good standing refers to a person that is having complied with all the explicit obligations while also not being a subject to any form of sanction, suspension, or disciplinary censure. So, in other words, a teacher who has a spotless record. And also, if you are a holder of Bachelor of Science in Education and its equivalent, then you are also qualified. So, when we say a bachelor or equivalent, it means that for whatever post, job, or institute you are applying for, you too are eligible if you have a bachelor's degree and its equivalent. So, which is the 120 credits. So, the second one is an elementary or secondary teacher for 3 years in good standing and a holder of master's degree in education or its equivalent provided. So, again, if your record is spotless and you finish a master's degree, then and also its equivalent, then you are also has a chance to be qualified. So taking the master's degree, it takes usually 2 to 3 years, or sometimes it's been 4 years. So it takes time, but depending on your previous education and whether you're a full or part-time student, then it may take shorter or longer length of time. So, that they shall be given 2 years from the organization of the Board of Professional Teachers, which to register and be included in the roster of professional teachers, so that those incumbent teachers who are not qualified to register without examination under this act, or who albeit qualified were unable to register within the 2-year period, shall be issued a 5-year temporary or special permit from the time of the board is organized, within which to register after passing the examination and complying with the requirements provided in this act, and be also included in the roster of professional teacher, so that those who have failed the licensure examination for professional teachers shall be eligible as para teacher that shall be issued by the board, and a special or temporary permit shall be assigned by the Department of Education, Culture, and Sports, or DEX, to schools at may determine under the circumstances. So, which means that for those who have failed the licensure examination for professional teachers, shall be eligible for para teachers. So, upon issuance of the board of the 2-year special permit, and also it is renewable for a non-extendable period of 2 years. So, the para teacher itself shall be assigned to areas where there is a shortage or absence of a professional teachers as identified and provided by the Department of Education in the Autonomous Region for Muslim Mindanao, or ERMM Education Department, to the Board of Professional Teachers and to the Commission. So that's for para teachers, and they have the special permit that will last for 2 years before expiration. So thank you and good afternoon, and be ready for our quiz.